Good afternoon and welcome to the 2020 Economic Recession and Preparation Channel. I'm your host, Tony. Thank you for joining me on this weekend edition, Friday, August 21st. And today we're going to talk about the effects of the sickness virus on capitalism, the death of capitalism by 1,000 cuts in the United States of America. Today, according to CNBC.com, Chief Investment Strategist Mohammed El-Erian says that the sickness devastation of small businesses threatens capitalism in the U.S. He said that if you want capitalism to be sustained, you need buy-in from a lot of people. You cannot get buy-in if it's all about large corporations, he told CNBC today. Remember what small businesses do. They're not just large employers. They are also the main way to have inclusive capitalism, an inclusive market-based system. As of August 11th, there are about 155,000 total business closures reported on Yelp.com since March the 1st. About 91,000 of the closures, or 59% of them, are permanent, meaning that these businesses will not reopen despite the PPP, the paycheck protection loans, and the stimulus that the government has provided. It is not enough to sustain small businesses in New York City, Chicago, LA, DC, San Francisco, LA, Houston, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, Texas, and other big and little municipalities. Small businesses' devastation during the sickness crisis highlights the risk to capitalism in the United States. And so, since the death of capitalism and putting hardworking Americans out of work is intentional and also deliberate by the Federal Reserve Bank and the big corporations that run and market for more control of government over our financial lives, this has caused a dramatic upheaval, putting 60 million Americans out of work as governments ordered non-essential businesses to shut down, while businesses such as Amazon, Walmart, Target, Costco, Sam's, and others were allowed to keep doing what they do, operate under normal circumstances, taking in record profits, while the rest of us are suffering under a meager financial means. And now, the Federal Reserve Bank is attempting to do all it can through its mainstream lending program, which has capacity for $600 billion in loans. Remember, they print this money up out of thin air, and it's not backed by anything. It's no longer backed by gold, and it's no longer backed by anything. And so this loan process, in the first month, 13 companies gained approval through the Fed's program with a total value of a little more than $92 million. But today, El-Erian, the chief economist, said the mainstream lending program isn't going well. We need to fix that, and we can fix that. The engineering is there. It's just a question of, quote, political will. So the question I have for you is, and not only you, but to everyone listening, is that is the Federal Reserve Bank and is Congress and Republicans and Democrats, everyone combined, are they really trying to help Main Street or really trying to line their pockets before this whole thing collapses? As a matter of fact, once capitalism collapses, that is it. We have about 6 to 12 months left of this. And this is extremely concerning. Today on MarketWatch.com, the U.S. dollar's sharp decline is driving this investment manager into gold. We've seen a lot of big names go flood into gold stocks and physical gold, such as Warren Buffett taking a huge stake into Barrick Gold investments this past week because they know what's coming. We have high spiraling debt, a $26.8 trillion debt deficit. We have 60 million unemployed Americans, and the stimulus has run out. It is now concerning to me that we may not even get a second stimulus check. Not that $1,200 or $3,400 will do much in most of our lives anyway, but it's concerning that corporations are getting massive help, mega corporations are getting massive help, and not individuals on Main Street who deserve the most help. Another thing is that we have to look out for is the trade war. The trade war with China is not over. It has turned to technology and proprietary technology that could spike prices, leading to inflation on goods that we get from China, such as food, consumer goods, hardware goods, and other goods. Interest rates right now are at zero, but they cannot remain at zero forever. Either the Federal Reserve Bank has to raise interest rates to help the economy, or they have to lower it to a negative interest rate, which is going to harm everyone, because you will be paying the bank to keep your hard-earned money in the bank if we go to a negative interest rate. My guess would be they probably will go to a negative interest rate before going into a full-blown depression next year by summertime. They are going to continue to print up so much money to help these businesses, these zombie companies that do not produce anything but debt and worry investors' minds until they cannot do it anymore. You see, in 2020, the ratio of U.S. debt to the output of the economy, the debt to GDP, is likely to exceed 120%, and it might even go to 130%. And see, we can't blame it all on this sickness, because the U.S. has been running huge budget deficits in good times and in bad times long before the virus. The last time we had a budget surplus, I think it was under President Clinton in the 90s, 96, when they were bragging about we had a surplus. That was the last time. That's how far back we have to go to have a surplus. And now, 10 years removed from the great financial crisis of 2008 and 2009, we're still running a deficit. And on top of that, our spending has got out of control. Now today, just to prove to you, the Dow Jones market was up a little bit, about maybe 70.7%, or 191 points or so. But based on what? These companies, they're saying John Deere went up, stock price went up by 20% today. Based on what? I guess people are buying farm tractors now to get ready for, which they should be, to get ready for growing their own food for when the grand solar minimum arrives later on in the winter and we can't get any food from these stores. But in Tesla's stock price, up $2,000. I know that he's doing the space thing, Mr. Musk and all of that, but look at the valuations of these companies. We're talking 50 to 100 times earnings on the stock market. Even if you were a betting man or woman, that is insane times earnings. That we know in this economy with 65 million people unemployed that things are not getting better. We can go to the grocery store and see that things are not getting better. Look at the look on people's faces when you go to the grocery store. They're getting the essentials for their family, their kids, but they're also looking very concerned that their dollar is not stretching as far. It used to be a time, and I think you remember too, where you can get a cart full of groceries for $100, $120 or less. Now, 60, 80, or even $100 does not buy you a cart full of groceries. In some states, some boroughs and states and townships, you'll be lucky if you get $60 to $80, 2 bags or 3 bags. And this is not at the most expensive Sprouts or Whole Foods or Trader Joe's. These are at basic places like Aldi's and your Winn-Dixie's and Piggly Wiggly's and all of these grocery stores that we have in the States, Ralph's and all of these stores. This is just the basic cost of living. And so the death of capitalism is definitely here, my friends. But it's something that we know that we're not surprised by, because we have been living off a credit card for too long. And my encouragement is, in terms of the preparation part that I want to get to, is that we have to learn to be self-sufficient. We have to teach our skills to our friends, neighbors, kids. Teach them how to grow their own food. Teach them how to build a shelter out of tents, out of nature. Get more self-sufficient. We have to get less dependent on credit and on fake money that in this system, and more dependent on ourselves, because when they pull the plug on this economy, it is going to be sudden and abrupt. You're going to wake up one morning and the stock market may be going to 50,000, but outside there's nothing to eat. This is what's happening in Venezuela. This is what happened in Zimbabwe. This is what happened in Turkey, as Turkey's in a crisis right now. The country of Turkey, the lira lost its value, and people are scrambling to go into gold and cryptos, trying to make do. It's coming to the United States. It's just that the United States is going to be the last domino to fall out of the worldwide currencies and the worldwide economic policy. So get prepared today. Stay prepared. Be blessed, everyone. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And please make sure you subscribe to this channel. I hope you're getting the notifications, because some people have told me they haven't been getting the notifications. So please subscribe to this channel, and I will talk to you very soon. Have a blessed day and a weekend.